Hello and welcome to It's Me, Oddly. And if you haven't guessed, it's me, Oddly. Welcome to today's show. Today, we will be indulging in a bit of fun. We are going to talk about Barbie and just her. I am so excited about today's episode because I love Barbie. Simple as that. I love what she stands for. I love the color pink. She's just my girl, you know? I was actually going to do an entirely different topic today. I had it planned out and everything. But then the trailer dropped and it brought me so much joy. If you don't know what I'm talking about the Barbie movie trailer directed by Greta Gerwig. And because I don't have any other words, I'm just excited. The movie looks bright and colorful and beautiful and fun, and I'm glad. It looks like everything it's supposed to be. That's the only way I know how to describe it. I know that I'm putting so much hope into this movie already when I've only seen a teaser trailer and some posters and an actual trailer, but I am super excited. Before I get into how Barbie has really shaped my own personal life, I kind of just want to talk about who Barbie is, where she comes from, and who she is now. Barbie's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts, and she was introduced March 19th in 1959 by Mattel Incorporated. Introduced March 9th, 1959 by Mattel Incorporated, a South California toy company. Ruth Handler, co-founder of Mattel, spearheaded the introduction of this doll. Barbie's physical appearance was modeled by a German doll named, and I might butcher this, so please forgive me, Build Lily Doll, a risque gag gift for men based on a cartoon character featured in the West German newspaper Bild Zeitung. I hope that I gave those pronunciations justice. Miss Barbie's body has faced a lot of controversy since her inception. Mothers in a 1958 Mattel sponsored market study before the doll's release criticized Barbie for having quote unquote too much of a figure. They thought she was, doing a bit much for a children's toy. But Mattel got around this by advertising directly to children via television, making them the first toy company to broadcast commercials to children in 1955. In 1961, Mattel introduced Ken, Barbie's boyfriend. In 1963 came Midge, Barbie's best friend, and Barbie's little sister Skipper in 1964. By 1968, Barbie had been issued Friend Dolls of Color, but in 1980, the first Black Barbie was released. Since the 1970s, Barbie has been criticized for materialism, such as amassing cars, clothes, houses, and things of that nature. She's also been criticized for unrealistic body proportion. Finland researchers at the University Central Hospital in Helsinki, Finland, if Barbie were real, she would lack the 17 to 22% body fat that, you know, would be required for her to be able to menstruate. She was also cited to have been underweight for her height, being 110 pounds at a 5'4", I believe. I could be wrong. Please fact check me on that because I'm not sure and I didn't write it in my notes. I'm sorry. But yeah, so in 1997, Barbie's body mold was redesigned and given a wider waist. Barbie was given smaller breasts, a wider waist, and slimmer hips. In 2016, Mattel released 3 additional sizes of Barbie under petite, tall, and curvy. Despite complaints, though, I think in 2016 that was actually around the time that not only did they introduce those new body types, they also started to introduce even more inclusivity around those dolls. I remember being like really excited. I was at the point where personally I was just, not into dolls anymore. I was much older and I was just a different person all around. And But I remember being so excited when, I saw these dolls that came in more of a variety. Because me personally, I didn't grow up with that. It would have been really cool to see. It would have been really cool to grow up with a Barbie that looks like me. Even though I was past that age of playing with Barbies, I was still very excited. Almost like the kid in me just was so excited to see a doll that looked like me, that was shaped like me. And it was even cooler when they started to introduce, you know, Barbies that didn't have any hair, or Barbies in wheelchairs, Barbies with what do you call them? But the hearing aids, that's the word I'm looking for. I'm sorry. Yeah, they introduced Barbie with hearing aids, and just like real diversity in the dolls that children get to see. Because if they can see it in the toys that they play with, see that representation, see that diversity in their everyday life, they won't see it as strange. They won't see it as something that they need to point and stare at. And even if children do, we have to be understanding and be patient with them. Hear them out when they have questions, because they don't know better. And when they know better, they will do better. I'm not saying, let your kid run up to someone who looks different from them and harass them and berate them with questions, but rather, if that child asks you, be honest with them and be willing to say, I don't know. I actually don't have an answer for that, but we can work together and we can research together to find an answer. Went off on a tangent a bit, but that's something that I felt was really important to say. The diversity that Barbie has decided to showcase, in their line of dolls has been so important in my eyes and has brought me nothing but joy to see. And I am beyond happy about it. And to see all the Barbies that are going to be in the movie, specifically Sharon Rooney. Sharon Rooney is an actress that was in a show that I really love. I think I actually mentioned in the last episode, My Mad Fat Diary. I talked a little bit about how that show was very important to me, to see a fat character that just got to be a person and, just got to just exist as a human being. It was really cool. And to know that she's going to be in this movie and she's going to be one of the Barbies, try not to scream, but please know that I am beyond excited and I cannot wait to see not only Sharon Rooney's performance, but everyone's performance, because it already looks so good. I cannot wait. Despite complaints, we're getting back into the notes. One thing that's always been praised when it comes to Barbie is the fact that she was never a doll that was designed to fit any stereotype regarding women. She was never, oh, this is Barbie. She's a mother, she cooks, she cleans, and that's all she is. She's always been that girl. She If she's cooking, it's because she's a chef. She's a baker. She works at McDonald's. She's been, to get into some of the jobs she's been a pilot. She has been a presidential candidate. She's been an astronaut. Like, Miss Girl works. Okay? Let's have that conversation. Barbie has had, I think, just about every job. And it's just so cool because not only do we have the now expanded range of dolls and the inclusivity and diversity that's included with them, we also have those dolls doing these various jobs and doing all these cool things. And I want to say that there's nothing wrong with being a mother, but it's important that children know that that is not all you have to be. Being a mother is a beautiful thing, but if you want that and then some, or if you want something completely different, that's okay. And I think Barbie was a very instrumental part in me being able to acknowledge that, because personally, I've never really been, I won't say I'm not the maternal type. I will say that I've never seen myself as a parent. I've never seen myself as a mother. And Barbie, as far as I've grown up, has never really been that. There was, Midge, that I mentioned, Barbie's best friend, when they reintroduced her in, I can't remember what year, but they brought her in as the pregnant doll, the pregnant Barbie. And there was actually a lot of controversy behind that because they were like, well, I feel like you're promoting teen pregnancy. What are you doing? Mind you, Midge was actually marketed as an adult woman who is pregnant and going to give birth. But because of the backlash that was received behind Midge and her being pregnant, they actually took the doll off the shelves. And also, Midge can be seen in the new movie coming up. Just so you know, you can see her poster. I actually did not notice if she was in the trailer, but I know for a fact that her poster can be seen. You can see her movie poster, which is super exciting. Midge is getting the representation she deserves. Justice for Midge. Yes, I love it. I feel that Barbie taught a lot of us. I don't know if y'all remember the slogan from the commercials. Um, be who you wanna be. Barbie, Barbie girl. And she really embodies that. She really lives that. Barbie's like, yo, do your thing. Be who you wanna be. I want to talk about how I was not always a fan of Barbie. The best way that I can describe how I felt about Barbie was very first wave feminist. I had very strong ideas about femininity and womanhood at a very young age and a pretty big sense of justice. I didn't totally know what it meant. I knew that I wanted, stand up for girls because girls weren't being treated nicely. And I also had the mentality of I'm not like other girls. I'm so different. I wear Converses with my dress and I listen to Fall Out Boy while the other girls listen to Taylor Swift. Mind you, I'm a big fan of Taylor Swift. Controversial opinion, I know, but the girl can write a banger, okay? Can we at least accept that Miss Taylor Swift can write a really good song? But yeah, back to that point. I I was very much one of those I'm not like other girls. And turns out I was right because I'm non-binary. So I was on to something. I was wrong in some of the stuff I said, but I think it led me to where we are now. I would say because of the ideas that I held, I thought that Barbie was actually, quote unquote, setting women back. I thought that she was a problem and she was the reason that women aren't respected. And I was just a kid. I didn't know any better. And I genuinely believed it. I genuinely thought that Barbie was the root of all evil. And I thought femininity was the root of all evil. I thought that hyperfemininity was the problem and it needed to be stopped. That's why I wasn't, quote unquote, not like other girls and all of that madness. And I would really hate on Barbie. I would hate on people who wanted to play with Barbies. Very specifically, my cousin, my poor cousin. I would be so freaking mean to her because she didn't care what other people thought. She wanted to play with dolls. And because of my awful views, I was so mean to her. I was a mean little kid to her about the fact that she was playing with Barbies because I thought, oh, Barbies are the problem. Yeah, nah. Turns out the real problem are people that judge others for being feminine. There's nothing wrong with femininity. There's nothing wrong with, liking pink and liking pretty things and wanting to wear heels. Turns out those things do not make you a villain. What makes you a villain is being a bully. Being a bully is what the problem was that whole time, and I didn't even realize it. I thought I was doing the job of the underdog. I thought that, I was some type of vigilante who was standing up for all people, but really I was just a little jerk. Because people who like pretty feminine things are just as valid as those who don't. What a concept, I know. I was a jerk. So once I realized that femininity wasn't the problem, I really slowly started to unpack it all. I started to realize that, okay, I feel this way about Barbie, but why? And that's where the work of working on my internalized misogyny came in. And I had to accept that I was wrong. And that's okay. I feel like that's a really big thing for a lot of people. They're afraid to be wrong. They're afraid to look up one day and realize everything they've thought and said wasn't true this whole time. And though that sucks, it's okay. It's okay to admit that you're wrong. I have to remind myself of that all the time, especially because I'm a Sagittarius and I'm right all the time. I don't want to hear anything about how your star placement doesn't matter. I believe it, okay? It matters to me, so don't tell me anything about it. Thank you. Anyway, Sagittarius needs to be right all the time. And I do mean all the time. A lot of the times, I won't even speak unless I 100% know that I'm right in what I'm saying and cannot be refuted. I have spent more than one occasion saying absolutely nothing because I wasn't sure if I was 100% right, only to later find out I was right the whole time. Yeah, people need to get comfortable with being wrong. I had to get comfortable with being wrong. I still have to get comfortable with being wrong because that's just what life is. Human beings, turns out they make mistakes. Turns out people can be wrong. Wow, who knew? And so, because I had to learn that, I had to learn that everything, all of my, quote unquote superior, because I was one of those people, ideas were wrong. I was like, well, what do I do now? What do I think now? And that's when I started to, look into like how I didn't even necessarily look into it. It kind of just found me how I began to realize that it's wrong to pit girls against each other because of their interest. Sometimes the people you meet will have like seemingly nothing in common with you, only for them to turn out to be your best friend. Also, it's a tool of the patriarchy to like pit women against each other based on, aesthetics because they want us to hate each other. So if we hate each other, we can't look at the real problem. And I realized that. So, yeah, don't let them pull the wool over your eyes, man. Cuz that's really what they want. And that falls on all intersections. They want you to pick a fight with each other so that you don't have to look at the real problem. You keep trying to figure out why the light bulb isn't coming on when you flip the switch, but it's because Daryl over here cut the cord. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, it makes sense. If it resonates, it resonates. That's all I can say on that. I had to do that work. I had to look within myself and realize, hey, let's not fight. There's no reason to fight. We are in this together. You like something different from me, and that's cool. Barbie helped me realize that. And then once I like slowly started to unpack all of that, I realized I'm actually one of those people who love pink. I adore pink. I've made pink my personality, and I'm never going back, baby. Pink is me. I am pink. We are one. You can't break us up. What we have is special. And if you're a pink girly, you know the right shade of pink. You know exactly what I'm thinking about. It's like, yes, as a pink person, you will take anything in pink, no matter the shade. But if it's that perfect shade of pink, and you know what I'm talking about if you're a pink girly, then everything's right in the world. Everything's A-okay. That, the Razor Quartz collection, to me, that's the perfect pink. It's not too warm. It's not too cool. It sits on... It's just perfect. Okay, it's perfect. I went on a whole pink tangent. Anyway, I'm a pink person if that wasn't obvious. I also like being feminine. Oh my goodness. I love dresses. I love skirts. I love springtime. I love pretty things. And I love that about me. I not only did I learn that I love those things, I also learned that I love those facts about myself because I just think it's so darling. I think I'm the cutest little bean that ever existed because of the things that I like. I like that I like what I like. Does that make sense to you? I hope it does. I'm just really excited to talk about what I like. And I like Barbie. I think Barbie is so neat and cool and special. I think that her being who she is, Barbie being who she is, has been very important to me because even though there has been criticisms about Barbie, both not so valid and absolutely valid, she has always been the girl who's smiling and pink and happy and bubbly, and she doesn't shy away from that. She never stopped being Barbie. And I know that, Barbie's not real. She's not. She was invented by a company, but she still stands for something. She means something to so many people. Barbie is, in a lot of ways, more than a company. At least for me, I think Barbie is very special and very important and very great. Especially like the most recent, the YouTube Barbie that does the vlogs. She's just a little star, isn't she? She's so cute. She like does tutorials. She has videos where she's like, "Hey, people have anxiety, and that's okay. Here are some tips to like try to calm down in those trying times." And like really normalizing certain, just things and being a kind soul. She's so cute. YouTube Barbie is that girl, and I love her. I think she's a doll. No pun intended. I should not have found that as funny as I did, but I refuse to apologize for the person that I am. Another really big thing about Barbie for me is her helping, I guess me specifically, realize you can be a multifaceted person. You can be really good at science and also like going to the mall. Because turns out people can have multiple interests. I don't know if y'all knew that, but when I found out, I was geeked. It's so exciting. Talking about Barbie, talking about what she means to me, talking about Barbie's impact on the world is bringing me so much joy, if you can't tell, because Barbie is special. Barbie is Barbie, man. Like, I honestly, truly feel like there's just no way to really describe her because she is just on another level. She has inspired art all around the world and really molded and shaped people's lives. I mean, just look at Trixie Mattel. Trixie Mattel, whose whole look is based around Barbara Millicent Roberts. Was that right? Yeah. Yeah, it was right. I knew that off the top of my head. Yeah. I'm I'm immersed. I think I'm going to become one of those doll people. Actually, no. I don't think so. I'm actually really afraid of dolls. But do I love Barbara? Absolutely. That's my girl. She's my friend. But do I want a room full of dolls looking at me? Absolutely not. I will cry every day. But I love Barbara. Barbara's that girl. And can I just say that Ryan Gosling can? He already has my heart. He does. I've always liked Ryan Gosling. From what I can tell, apparently not a lot of people do or did. For some people, their minds have been changed by the trailer. But I have always thought that he was just darling. I love him. I think he's great. And already obsessed in love with his portrayal of Ken and the other Kens. I can't wait to see them. And also Alan, who I didn't even know about until literally today as I'm recording because the trailer came out today, the day I'm recording. Um, And just finding out about him was really cool. And it just shows how much detail has gone into this movie as far as like writing and the little things. It's small things like that that really show that Greta really cares about Barbie and cares about the movie that she's making. And as a consumer of media, as someone who is a writer themselves, I think that's amazing. I love stuff like that. I love noticing things like that. Notice how much you care about your art and how visible it is. That is always amazing. Just these little details shows how much research has gone into this and how much care. And I think that's amazing. I think that is so cool. I I cannot wait for this movie to come out. I am beyond excited for it, and I'm just ready. I'm so ready. Did I completely stop talking about Ryan Gosling? I think I did. Anyway, he's a great actor. He's very funny, and the way he the way he the way he delivered the line about the roller skates. It's probably not that funny to you, but it really has brought me a lot of joy. I can't stop laughing at it. Every time I think about it, I laugh. This movie has brought me so much joy, and it isn't even out yet. And honestly, I feel like it's had that effect on everyone who's seen the trailer and is very excited. And that within itself makes me happy because we all need a little bit of joy and a little bit of happiness. And to know that we can all kind of come together and enjoy this trailer being released together is so special. And we get to do that again when the movie comes out. And that's really cute. And that just makes me so excited. Greta, you have already stolen my heart. I cannot wait to see what is in store. Already, I'm going to send you a thank you. And I can't wait to see you win awards for this masterpiece of a film. And if you don't, who knows what I'll do? Probably cry. I'm not very confrontational. I try not to be. But I'm claiming it for you. You're going to win all the awards that you deserve for this lovely movie. Just from casting alone, this movie seems perfect. So even if the critics and the Academy don't get it and they don't get into it, the people are gonna love it. And from the looks of it, they kind of already do. It's exciting stuff, man. It's all exciting stuff. I cannot wait. That's all I can say. I'm glad to have even made this episode. I'm beyond happy. That's it. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of It's Me Oddly. I am so excited. If that wasn't obvious, I can't wait for this movie to come out and to see everyone else's reaction too, because it's obviously making people happy to some degree, and that makes me happy. So that's exciting. You can find me on most things at Oddly Cozy Cottage, except for Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Oddly Cottage because someone stole my name. Fun fact, I actually found out nobody stole my name, and it's because Oddly Cozy Cottage is outside of the timer. It's outside of the character amount, so I couldn't have it that long. But I'm gonna keep saying that someone stole my name. Someone ran away with it, and I can't seem to find it. So on Twitter, Oddly Cottage. Everything else, Oddly Cozy Cottage. Special plug, my blog, oddlycozycottage.tumblr.com, where I will be talking about a bunch of different things and maybe even writing, I don't know, I guess articles. I guess you could call them that. Very exciting stuff. And I'm also talking about my road to Paris and how I'm going to get there and how it's been my dream forever and how I want to see Stray Kids. And if you want to read all that, you want to see all that very specifically, oddlycozycottage.tumblr.com. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I will see you in the next one.